Get rich or die broke. This is a choice you have right now in wholesaling real estate. If you're looking to make the change you know you have to make this year, tonight's the night, today's the day that you make this choice. The truth is, you are going to have a big decision to make. Are you going to stay where you're at or make the change? Are you actually going to do the things that I'm telling you to do today to get you some money, wholesaling houses, make the change, and get you rich in wholesaling real estate? The truth is, many people want to get filthy rich. Many men want to make a ton of money right now. But ultimately, they die broke. They got no money. They can't do what they sought for themselves to do. And they wonder, why? Why haven't I gotten rich? Why not me, right? Oh, lucky for you to have all this money in cash and be successful, right? I get that a lot. Lucky for you. When the truth is the opportunity is in front of you. The opportunity is right in front of you right now to become successful. And so now we understand today that right now is our time. There will never be a time in history like wholesaling real estate like right now, where it's like it's the pirates. It's the pirate era, right? Anything goes. There's no crazy laws or anything. I don't think any crazy laws are going to be happening in the future. But what I mean by that is like anything goes, the Wild West, where any 18, 17, 16-year-old kid, heck, me 7 years ago at 17 years old, can just go pop off anywhere and make 20 grand in a month, no problem, quick and easy. Now, wholesaling real estate, and I am a broken record saying this, it is not a get rich quick scheme. It is a get rich quick hard work scheme where, yes, you can get rich quick, and that's usually what all the 18-year-olds hear about, and then they don't care about anything else. But the truth is, yes, you can get rich quick if you ... work hard. And so if you are watching this right now and you want to work hard, you can get rich very quick and make a ton of money very quickly. But there is one caveat here, one issue, one thing you have to understand. To do this, you are going to have to work hard. You're going to have to do the things that you particularly don't want to do. And the main focus of why I'm speaking today is I could be chilling out, I don't know, doing whatever I do. But I'm deciding to have a little talk to you today and everyone watching this, because you need to break your generational curses. These curses that have been keeping you back in your life, in your family's life, and probably your grandparents' life and great-grandparents' life that's keeping you guys broke. It's there's this term called generational trauma, where if something bad happens to your great-grandparents, the grandparents feel it, and then the parents, and then they pass it off to the kids. And there's perpetual cycle of trauma and situations and all that. And this is for a multitude of things, but it's a newer term that's being going around. And the same thing happens with money habits. If you want to get your money advice from your parents and they have no money, and they got their advice from your grandparents, and they've never made any money, and they go to the great-grandparents, they never made any money, what's the cycle of things going to happen to your kids? They're probably just going to be like you, not having any money. And so it takes just one person. If you break up any self-made man that has gotten rich wholesaling houses, real estate investing, heck, anything, entrepreneur, business, whatever, there's always that one man or woman that decided, I'm breaking this curse. I'm done. We ain't playing this game no more. We're making a change. And this is what you have to do today. This is what you have to do to get rich wholesaling real estate. Now, wholesaling is not the cure-all, end-all, be-all, everything here. And I want everyone to know that, right? The point is to make a ton of money in wholesaling so you can go put it into rentals, other assets, and have that work for you and do well. Same thing I do, right? It's a pretty simple game plan. Make a ton of money, pour that into things that pay me more money, preferably rental properties, and get rich. Become a millionaire, use a lot of tax write-offs, and do well in life, right? But the thing is, this all starts with a choice. It's not a rigged game. It's a game anyone can do. And so my first piece of advice for anyone watching this, and this is a statement that, any 17-year-old can watch this and get hyped up, jacked up, right? Yeah, I'm pumped up, man. And I get all that, right? Like I get so many people saying this, and it's always funny. It's always hilarious to me. You get all these people. But the honest truth here is I'll get anyone who's jacked up right now to get rich wholesaling, and I put them cold calling, and by hour 2.5, they're like, oh, they're not just jacked up, ready to go, because they didn't really have a why or reason to keep doing it, right? And the generational brokenness comes in, and don't do that hard thing, do the easy thing now, right? TikTok, social media, they're all on the social media, right? That's what they're telling you to do. And so what I can tell you is, by rich wholesalers, poor wholesalers, what is done in the dark will always be brought to the light. And what I mean by this isn't like a crazy philosophical quote. It's a quote you need to know about wholesaling, where I get people coming up to me all the time saying, Zach, I want to get rich. I'm going to be just like you. I want to be successful. And I'm always nice to anyone that says that, because I truly believe that they can. Anyone can do this, right? But the one thing I will tell you this, and this is always a scary thing. You can say anything you want. Anyone can. And they've done studies showing saying you're going to do something almost gives you as much dopamine as actually doing the thing. And so if you look at athletes, them saying they're going to win a championship or they're going to be a champion, the dopamine hit of just saying that is almost as much as when you actually do it. And it's a crazy thing to say, but statistically they can do brain scans and stuff like this. And the problem is people say, I'm going to make 20 grand a month wholesaling houses next month. And they keep saying it, right? They go on their phone and social media, I'm grinding, guys, yeah. And if you're not a wholesaler, the best example is your homies posting about the gym. It's the gym pic after with the bicep thing. And they always post that. You don't know what they did though before that. Like, did they actually work hard, or did they just do a little workout, get a little pump in, and then post a picture, right? It doesn't mean anything, right? They're just showing that they participated, right? Here's the cool part. If these people that, let's say they all have the right diet, they don't take any steroids or anything stupid. If you get rid of those two like external factors and genetics and all, just like the same people, let's use twins for identical twins as an example, right? And they eat the same thing every day and they both went to the gym for an hour, but one guy's more jacked than the other. It was because that other person statistically probably worked out harder. That's how it works. And what I mean by this is, what you do when nobody's looking always gets shown to the light. Always. You can trick someone for a week. You can trick someone for a month. You can trick someone for a year. But you cannot trick someone for 5, 10, 15, 20 years that you're balling and you're rich in wholesaling. The truth is the amount of rental properties you own keeps going up. If you've been wholesaling and you're making millions of dollars and you own 0 rentals or assets or anything like that, like, it's shown you're not doing what you say you're doing. And so the truth here is, everyone says they're going to get rich. Everyone says they're going to become successful. Everyone says they're going to grind and do the things they need to be doing. But really, it's what you do when no one's watching you, the amount of marketing you're doing, the bandit signs you're putting out, the digital bandit signs you're putting out, the text you send every hour on the hour. It's just these little things that no one sees, but behind closed doors, you keep doing that over a large period of time will lead you to getting leads, wholesaling deals and contracts and checks. And then that gets brought to the light. It's always sexy posting that you're going to do something, but why don't we actually just do the thing and then post the results? And everyone focuses on the work and the grind and that culture, but it's all about doing the work, and the work will do it. The work will always show what the results will. And you can't be posting your 5 hours of cold calling. You just got to do the work. And frankly, nobody cares about the work you do in the dark. And that's the sad part. Kobe Bryant, right? Nobody cared about the 10,000 basketball practice shots he made. Frankly, no one cared. But when he made the game winner, and that was his 10,000th and one shot he made for the let's say for the year, then everyone cares. Because him making that game-winning shot brought to light how many times he's tried that shot before. It's insane. I love basketball. There's this example of Ray Allen did this game 6 against the San Antonio Spurs. I'll never forget it. He did a back step corner 3-pointer, tied the game, went to overtime. Heat won. They won the championship that year. Ray Allen went on record saying his teammates actually said this guy practiced this back fadeaway 3-pointer for like 15, 20 minutes after practice every single day for like 10 years straight. And he never tried it except for that one moment where he was able to actually do that. And then those hundreds of hours he's done led him to actually make that shot. And so it's done in the darkness will always be brought in the light. And so whenever I get somebody that says they're grinding, they're working hard, they're doing all this, what I'm trying to let you know is, yes, I get it. Like, go say you're grinding, but do the work. And the work will always be brought to the light of what you're doing. Just put in the work and the results will show. I didn't brag about any of the cold calling I did. I didn't brag about getting up at 4:30, 5 a.m. doing my bandit sign runs. Never bragged about the trying for dollars, reverse trying for dollars. It was never about that. It was using that to get filthy rich because I don't really care what anyone has to think about me. And so do the work when literally do the work when nobody's looking, and then get the results that nobody else can by doing the work that no one else is doing. And so when you're working when nobody's looking, you're going to get results that nobody else can do. Another quote, I love Inky Johnson. I'm a broken record with this guy. But he has a good quote about this. It's probably the most truthful quote on my trying for dollars on the third hour, putting sticky notes out. Inky Johnson said this quote that always rung true to me. He said, "To get results that others won't, you have to do what others don't." And actually, no, screw that up. To get results that others won't, you have to do what others don't. And what this basically means is you have to do what other people aren't willing to do to get results that they won't even be able to dream of or achieve. And so, yes, cold calling 3, 4, 5 hours a day seems insane to me, but the amount of money I was making was insane compared to all the other guys cold calling an hour or two a day. I was making 3 or 4x more than them because I was willing to do the extra mile that goes way farther than they can even imagine. And there's a secret why this actually yields wholesaling results, and actually yields cash, money, and results for you, okay? There's actually a scientific thing on this. But you got to just look at the statistics, okay? Rich wholesalers do the same thing. Us wholesalers that make a lot of money, we pretty much do the same thing over and over again. Our origin stories are very similar. And even the wholesalers that quit, they quit because it gets too hard for them. Because when it comes down to doing things they don't want to do, it gets too much, too overwhelming, and they just give up. So what do rich wholesalers do that actually get them results? They do the things that they don't want to do daily. Let me repeat myself. Rich wholesalers do the things that they don't want to do daily. Think about that. If you're wholesaling houses right now, you have this little voice in the back of your mind that says, "Ooh, I don't want to do that." Or, when it comes time to do taxes, your brain automatically goes to, "Oh, we got to do laundry instead of taxes. Oh, we got to do the lawn." Because your brain is subconsciously telling yourself to do things that you don't want to do. Your brain is telling you things subconsciously that you shouldn't be doing or you don't feel like doing, but because it's a lot less work than the thing you actually need to be doing, that it kind of tricks you into this. And it's this little muscle in the brain. I don't know there's a scientific term for this one. I think it's in the hippocampus in the brain. I was reading a study on this, but basically it's this, I don't want to do this muscle, but I do it anyway, kind of muscle in the brain. Or it's this thing in your brain that kind of governs you or stops you from doing the things you don't want to do. And they find Navy SEALs actually have the largest part of this in their brain. It's kind of funny looking at it, but it's kind of this, it's not a muscle, but it's a part of the brain that helps you push past your natural barrier of wanting to do things. And so statistically, most people will not jump in a cold ice bath. There's a thing in the brain basically telling them that's going to hurt. No. And the more you do it, the more you're willing to do hard things. Marathon runners do this. People who are crazy athletes can do this, right? Just push past the point where most people quit, right? A lot of it's for mental stuff too, like working hours and hours. And the best example of this I can tell you is cold calling 5 hours a day. That's probably one of those brutal things I've ever done. And I know it doesn't sound brutal, but trust me, it is. And when it comes time for me to hire a VA, when I've hired VAs, I understood how hard it was. But if you bring a guy that cold calls 5 hours a day, like 5 days a week for a year straight, like I was doing, and then you tell that guy, okay, well, for this week, I want you to cold call 3 hours a day, 5 days a week for a year straight. I'm going to be like, oh, easy, perfect, awesome. Oh, this is a breeze. Oh my gosh, this is barely any work, man. And I'm chilling, I'm relaxing, I'm having the time of my life. Now, if you brought a guy that was only used to cold calling 1 hour a day, 5 days a week for a year straight, and tell him to cold call 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, he is going to be crying. He's going to be, oh, this is so difficult. Oh, I need a break. Oh, it was such a hard day, right? Because their baseline of what hard work is completely screwed up. Like it's completely like flawed of what is hard work. And it's just that thing in the brain of what is normal work. And this is why when you see a lot of, how do I say this in the best way? People my generation that are used to working as, what's an easy job? I don't know. Being a guru? I don't know. And you have to start actually wholesaling houses and it seems difficult and you complain. That's usually it, right? Oh, it's so hard to close sellers. I hear gurus say that all the time because you haven't closed a seller in 3 years and now you actually have to go back into it. It's tough for you. Or, you know, you got people like my age that, you know, they're 20, 23 and they work part-time as a barista, 20 hours a week. And they get off an 8 hour shift and they think that they just went through, you know, an eight hour tile. They're laying tile and grout work for 8 hours and they're pretending like they're doing that. Like you ain't working hard. Unless you've been on a roof in the hot sun for 8 hours straight, you don't know what hard work is, right? Unless you're a truck driver, a nurse, a doctor, you know, you're on your feet for 8 hours doing crazy mental and physically strenuous stuff. You don't know what hard work is, right? And there's a lot of people and I like to pick on people my age because a lot of these people work 15, 20 hours a week and think they are the craziest workers of all time. And then you get the real men and women out here that actually do hard work all day. And it's a joke. And the truth is it's this muscle in their brain that like get past the point of actually what's hard, that little base. And you got to push past that, right? That's why I like wholesaling real estate because the more times you do things you don't want to do, it usually makes you better. And usually doing stuff like that has lots of benefits. And so, you know, going in a cold shower, that has a lot of mental strength benefits. And so when it comes to mile 16 of the marathon, you're good to go, right? And I've even seen big improvement. When I trained and did a full entire 62.2 mile marathon, didn't quit. It was very, very good for me because doing that and then working was a joke because one thing just felt so much physically tougher than the other. And I hate to say it, I know this sounds stupid to say, but like me cold calling all that time and running, like it was easy. Because if I could cold call for 5 hours, it's like on hour 4, I'm like, well, I'm not out of breath running. Like I can keep going. And then when I'm like running, it's like, I'm not cold calling like for 5 hours. There's only an hour or, you know, 2 or 3 hours of running. If I was doing like a half marathon, it's like, it's not hard at all. And so what I've always found is when you do things you don't want to do in wholesaling, they always lead to you making more money. It's kind of funny, but it's absolutely true. And the problem is in wholesaling too, we have these governors in our brain where it's like, oh, cold calling is really tough, but you're used to sitting down for 8 hours behind a desk and doing customer service. And that was fine for you. But sitting down and cold calling for 2 hours is tougher than that apparently. No, it's not. It really isn't. Get a nice chair, get a little headset, 40, 50 bucks on Amazon, click the dialer button, and just get calling. That is way easier than a customer service job making 10 bucks an hour when you're making 15 grand a month doing this. Duh, right? And so doing things you don't want to do is going to make you better. Think about it. Statistically, let's go down a list here of things that most people don't want to do. Okay? Think about this for a second, all right? Doing things you don't want to do. Number 1, cold calling. That's the number 1 thing I found most people do not want to do. Why? Because people say mean things to you, because you have to sit down, you have to work hard, because it's hard work, you don't want to do it. but it's the best way to gain skills talking to sellers. It's the best way to get in front of leads quick. And frankly, if I can say my truth here, if you don't have $2,000 to spend a month, this is one of your few hopes you have to get rich wholesaling. I see every guru and their mom telling you have to drop 3, 4, 5 grand a month in marketing so you don't have to. They'll talk crap on cold calling, but they'll tell you have to drop 3 grand a month in marketing. So for the average human being that can't drop 3 grand a month in marketing, which majority of people watching this probably are, cold calling is one of your best bets. But the problem is you don't want to do that. Well, do you have 3 grand? I don't have 3 grand. So it's like, what do you want? It's like, I want to eat like crap. I want to eat 7,000 calories a day of burgers, pizza, and milkshakes. And I also want a 6-pack. And I also want to get that 6-pack in less than a week. It's like, we can go down the line here. Like the math ain't adding up, bro. So you got to make some decisions here. What are you willing to do to sacrifice to get rich? Think about the next one, following up. A lot of you wholesalers have issues following up with your motivated sellers. Why? What's the standard line for following up? Hey, Mr. Seller, just checking in, seeing what's going on. Are you still looking to sell the property? No? Okay. Oh, you are? Well, what's a good time for me to come by and see the house? Simple as that. Like, was that, oh, that's so difficult. No. Cold calling, same thing. Like, hey, is this the owner of the property or are you looking to sell the property? Yes or no? Yes, MCTP. Let me talk to my partner about this. Let me give you a call back. I've done it so many times in my head. It's a joke. It's hilarious to me. Like, does a basketball player get scared? An NBA player when he gets the ball? No, he's not like, I have the ball. Oh no. Or is he like on the bench like, oh my gosh. What if I get the ball and I have to shoot it? No, they love basketball. It's fun to them. Might be work. That's the thing, right? Here's the cool part. We're not NBA players. Some of you, I wish I was an NBA player. No, because when you're 34, you're done making money the rest of your life. That's sad. You could be 65 making more money than you ever have. Come on. Talk about pulling hard lists, pulling the probate list, pulling the water shutoff list, pulling the fire damage property list, right? I'm telling you guys, most people don't want to be pulling these type of lists because it's harder than usual. Just you can't. You know why they think it's hard? Because they're used to using PropStream, Batch Leads, DMZack.com, right? And clicking a button and getting all the lists in front of them. And what I always say about this is if it's easy to pull the list, the results are going to be hard. And so if the list is hard to pull, the results are going to be easy. That's it, right? I hate to tell you, but that's the honest dang truth. And so you have to choose what your hard's going to be. Do you want the hardness to be on the back end when you're calling and everyone says, oh, you're the 10th guy to call me? Or do you want the hardness to be when you're trying to pull the list and it's so difficult and you call and you follow up and they say no and you keep going, you go to the manager and you go and go and go. Then finally you get the list, you skip trace it with DMZack.com, get the unlimited skip tracing, and then boom, you call all these leads and no one's called them and you get wholesaling deals and the results are easy. Just choose your hard. One at the end of the day makes you a ton of money and one doesn't. Now, yes, cold calling vacants, high equities from like listerary.com, zachdata.com, they'll yield results if you do a large enough volume. But I would say pull the hard list first and then do the paid list when you're trying to expand a little more. Pulling hard lists, most people aren't willing to do it. Let's talk about daily struggle. One of the biggest struggles in wholesaling is just showing up and doing what you got to do. Not even like cold calling, right? Like just showing up and deciding you're going to at least do something today. That's the hard, consistency is the hardest part by far for anyone doing this. And now consistency in wholesaling, right? It's not hard to do it for the day. It's not even hard to do it every day for a week. It's not even that difficult really to do it every single day for a month. But to do it every single day for a year, that's when it's difficult. Just like the gym. It's easy to go to the gym for a day. It's easy to go to the gym for 2 days. And maybe on the 4th day, when Aunt Shirley comes home with a peach cobbler and says, oh, why don't we sit down and watch The Bachelor together? Like, seriously. And then you're like, oh, I don't know. You know, maybe I'll skip the gym. Yeah, you're fine. You've been working hard. And then you quit that day, and then you don't go the next day, and then you stop going overall because you don't make it a priority. Just a daily struggle of life sometimes for people. I get it. But the daily struggle of just showing up every single day, that's what you have to be doing right now to get successful and get rich, right? talking to cash buyers. How many people out here talk to cash buyers on a weekly basis? Probably not enough. I know for a fact most of y'all aren't doing that. When it comes down to selling a deal and you only make 10 grand, we could have made 15, 20. It's ultimately up to you, dog. It's all you. Heck, what are the amount of people that have been through all of freewholesaling.com? Let's talk about that for a second, right? My free real estate wholesaling course, I could charge 5, 6, 7 grand for it and get people paying daily on this, but I give it to you guys for free. And you come to me and you have a little conversation with me, right? And you talk about how, oh, well, it's free, so I didn't really thought I had to go through it. I thought I had to go through some expensive program. And now, like, guys, let me know, right? Like, should I charge 5 grand to go through the wholesaling course? Like, you tell me, because I can go pay a documentary guy to bring a super, super extremely fancy camera, and I can pay an editor. I mean, I got about 4 of them right now. I could just pay them a little extra and do a crazy edited special, like, you know how they have those like masterclass type guys, and I can do that and make the production quality crazy and then charge you 5 grand and then like do it. Would that make you go through the course? Just like, I mean, you guys let me know. Like, let me know. Like, I'm super curious, you know, what's going to make you go through the entire course? Because it shows you everything you need to know. But the problem is a large portion of you will go in the comments or go to Wholesaling Analysis for Real and say, how do I get started in wholesaling? You'll watch this entire video, see freewholesaling.com on the bottom here, and not go through the entire course. Or you'll hop on and you'll go on one of the one-on-ones I have, and then you'll go out here and say, Zach, what do I say to a seller when they ask me what's my offer? It's like, bro, you'll sit behind the backstage on one of my live streams for 45 minutes waiting there like this, right? And you won't even have a pen or paper out, and you'll wait. I'll put you up. You asked your question. And during that time, you could have gone to freewholesaling.com, clicked the acquisitions module, popped up the objections script that you could have literally just watched, where I break down every single objection you're going to get in wholesaling real estate, shown how I actually answered it, put that on pen and paper, but you choose to ask me something that is already in the course. It's crazy to me. But the amount of people that aren't doing it, it's sad. So like, should I charge 5 grand for it? Or should I just still give it out for free? Spoiler, it's always going to be free. Sorry, it's a free wholesaling course. Sorry, guys. I'll literally give it out for free. But what I'm just saying is just take advantage of it, okay? Like literally, I pay tens of thousands of dollars a month to have that course up, with hundreds of thousands of daily people logging in, and the data, the cost of the servers for the amount of data on 4K video for hundreds of thousands of people. And these videos are hours long. It's insane, the cost that I spend just so you can go watch it and learn how to wholesale houses. It's crazy to me, but it's ultimately up to you what you want to do. Like, literally just go through freewholesaling.com. It's a free wholesaling course. I'll show you how to do it step by step. And the next part's asking questions. Now, I didn't say the last part because I'm clowning people for asking questions, but ask me questions. But go through the wholesaling course first and give me some respect of my time, and then ask me a question. My favorite questions are, Zach, I have a deal. This is the situation. It's like a divorce, probate, pre-foreclosure. There's an auction in 4 days in South Carolina. What do I do? And I can use my unique experience wholesaling around the country and give you an answer. But the problem is you're going to have to, what do I say when I cold call? I'm getting no results cold calling. Well, what script do you have? Oh, I'm using this guru script. Oh, so you're listening to a broke guy on how to make money wholesaling. Smart. It's like having a fat personal trainer. I mean, what do you think is going to happen? You listen to a fat guy on a personal trainer, you're probably going to be like him. I'm not saying anything bad about that. I'm just stating the obvious, right? It's like it's like asking me for, tennis advice. Like, what do you think I'm going to do if I'm your tennis coach? I don't know how to play tennis. It ain't going to do well. All right. Like, you're going to be terrible. You literally asked me to give you a lesson in how to speak Portuguese. Like, it ain't going to help. I don't know Portuguese. You listen to Broke Wholesaler, you're going to be broke. Ask questions though, but go through the course, learn the rules of the game, and you'll do well. Contracts are at freewholesaling.com, all the info you need. And so what you need to know here is you already know what to do. Go out and do it. You know you need a cold call. You know you need to text blast sellers. You know you need to drive for dollars and reverse drive for dollars and do all these methods. Or heck, if you have a couple grand, get some VAs, get a dialer, right? Send some direct mail out, right? Like, don't do the stupid stuff that the gurus are trying to push you to do. Just simply do the work. The wholesaling course is there. In that course, I have 4 or 5 different blueprint guides on what to do. In that course, I show you how to pull government lists. Like, I have it all in there. And so if, frankly, and this is always controversial statements, I love doing this, but this is on my personal YouTube channel, so I can say whatever I stinking want. If you're too stupid to hear me say freewholesaling.com, put it on the screen a bunch of times, and you still don't know how to go to a computer and write freewholesaling.com, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to send over a contract to a title company over email. It's going to get very difficult for you to pull a government list online. If you don't know how to go type in literally freewholesaling.com, like I'm going to put it on here again. If you don't know how to type freewholesaling.com onto a computer, it's going to be very difficult for you to learn how to skip trace motivated sellers online on a computer. So the truth is, like, either you get rich or you die broke. And a lot of people, I'm not tech, this is my favorite one, I'm not tech savvy. Well, you're not making money savvy then. And so there's plenty of programs at libraries teach you how to use computers. Do not make that an excuse. It's like if you were born in the 1800s, 1884. I'm 27. I ain't gonna learn how to drive a car. I'm good with my horse. It's a plane. I'd never get in a plane. We have trains. That's literally what you sound like. It's like, I ain't gonna use none of them cell phones. Like that. It's literally what you guys sound like. You know, that people used to say that books were for lazy people because, you don't want to talk about or you can't memorize stories. You have to write it in a book. Oh, you're a lazy bum. Then guess what happened when the radio came? Oh, you're too lazy to read. TV came. You're too lazy to actually go watch television, right? And then streaming came. They said it's always perpetual. You gotta learn how to use the internet. If you're serious about making some money wholesaling, you gotta do the work, guys. I don't give out this information for free for you to go squander this opportunity. Like, frankly, sometimes I get asked all the time, Zach, you should just hoard this information for yourself, only keep it to you, and then just make more money wholesaling. I could have done that. I decided I want to JV with people, literally give all the information out, and some of you guys send me deals at sellmypaper.com and we make money. Good enough.